we're going to move into our first topic of the day, which is our boy Elon making an offer for Twitter. And this comes after he's sitting on the board now and bought some stock. There's some interesting, like, Machiavellian things going on with him now being on the board, owning some pieces, and then wanting to do a hostile takeover now. We got a new piece here like 2 seconds ago, actually, where the board is now adopting some type of legalese poison pill to defend from a hostile takeover. So some updates here from this piece, but I'll start with you, Poner. What do you think about this, basic story? Elon saying I made an offer on Twitter, 42 or 43 billion. What do you make of it?
I mean, it was a good offer. Like, what he offered was well above what the share price was trading on. So I think the funny part of that is, like, the board kind of has to consider it. If you say, like, your role as a CEO of a company, of a public company, is to, like, provide value and drive value to your shareholders, you have to think about what's going to drive the most value. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion about that internally.
It's funny because, like, Elon is always known to do these kind of things to kind of shake things up and make waves. I feel like he had maybe a few calls on the stock and knew it was gonna run up, so he wanted to make a quick announcement. Because at the end of the day, no one knows how serious he is about truly buying out this company. If he's just trolling, because that's just what Elon does. But it'd definitely be interesting to see if, like, something comes out of this. And he does have some, I guess, creative input of how the company should be ran, or even just the app, the layout, the user interface. Because I know a lot of people are asking for features that have been slowly kind of rolling out. And we were just talking beforehand, comparing Clubhouse to Twitter Spaces, whereas maybe that's something they could kind of also feature and focus on, because Twitter was not optimized to run Spaces like Clubhouse was. Like, Clubhouse sole purpose was to run these live, live, I guess you could call them podcasts, with open discussions. Whereas, hopefully if they have some new blood in there, some new creative minds in there to kind of tweak the format, tweak the app, tweak the layout, I think it will be good for Twitter as a whole. But, who knows if there's any truth to these, I guess, offers.
Yeah, I want to pull up a piece from the SEC filing for Elon Musk, signed by Elon Musk here. His words: I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a social imperative for a functioning democracy. He goes on to say Twitter has extraordinary potential, and I will unlock it. Boy, what do you think about this offer from Elon? Is he going to make Twitter better if he ends up kind of coming through and being able to make this purchase?
I think that it all depends on how. I mean, this is a big. I think politics go into this quite a bit too. Like, when people take a look at, like, Elon and some of obviously we see everything that he's created, but people look at him in a certain light for, like, all of the podcasts that he's ever been on, and some of his social stances and stuff. I think that statement of it being a tool for free speech, I think that's the most important thing. It's less about, I mean, obviously people will look at the money and be like, okay, we should genuinely consider this just because the dollar mark and stuff, and like, objectively, but a lot of other people are looking at it as, like, it would be a radical change if Elon was at the helm of this. We all know that. It would be, like, definitely extremely different. But what is that? What are the things that, like, I'm so curious. Let's say hypothetically that he does take the reins. What is I think of it like a presidency. Like, what are the things that he's gonna do first, right? Like, what is his campaign? We want an Elon campaign. Like, it would be really funny if he started doing a campaign. I think that'd be hilarious.
It's weird because, like, I guess Twitter's always been accused, like, maybe when Jack was still there, of kind of censoring certain posts, certain topics. And there's always been FUD around that. But I feel like with Elon, his thing will be always to, I guess, putting, like you guys said, free speech forward, and making sure that's the, I guess, the big goal at the end of the day. My thing is that if they could just stop all these scammers tagging me every day, about 4 or 5 times a day, that'd be great.
But that comes with it though, doesn't it? Doesn't that come with it?
Yeah, I
With
get
like,
it.
yeah, like
That
that is if you're creating true free speech, then you're gonna have to. I don't know. I think also it is. It's gonna be a private company. Well, sorry, it's a. It is. They can do whatever they want technically. So, uh, yeah, I'm just
so
curious what those private decisions would be.
yeah, that's the rabbit hole conversation with decentralization too. Is like how decentralized do you want to get? Do you want to have these like graphic photos and videos if no one is kind of policing this content? Is it done by the community instead of some third party or the company itself? That's kind of the, I guess, rabbit hole conversation. So if Elon doesn't get this purchase here with Twitter, and he doesn't kind of radically change what's going on, do you guys believe in like other third party applications that could potentially unseat the big boys? I know Stanny from Aave is looking into doing like decentralized social media. There's been Minds, I think, is a platform that's tackled this. It always seems like too big of a hurdle to me when people are like, oh, we're going to create the next decentralized Twitter. It's like, okay, good luck, dude, or ma'am. So what do you guys make of decentralized social media if Elon can't pull this off with Twitter?
I think it's something, we all want the decentralized space, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's very hard to do that without having Web 2 centralized elements to create it. As we've seen in the space, other big companies coming in and buying up land, doing huge drops, and people kind of feel that, that our centralized idea of the space is not really what it's becoming or what we thought it was going to be. Um, People that want to try to create something new or make something better is definitely going to be a hard thing to do because, Twitter is such a massive thing now. And honestly, I don't even know if I have the attention span to use another app and then have to be going between Twitter and whatever new app that might pop up because it's centralized and all that. Twitter does what it does for me. I don't need more than that. It's yeah, the spamming and the tracking sucks because you get these ads and all that shit. But at the end of the day, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. It just gives me the most up to date info that I need, and I don't really need another app to come and try to do the same for me.
I think eventually somebody will figure out a model that works, but I heard a phrase that they talk about like if you're not paying for something, you are the product at the end of the day. So taking
Yeah,
that to social media and thinking of yourself as the product, I think that there will be a social media company that's able to kind of deroot what we have just because that's how technology advances and everything. But the payment and the way money flows is that it's going to have to be a model that gets figured out. And I don't think that's been figured out yet.
Yeah, and the progression of Web3 tech is just in general, these systems and models are the space just needs to grow for there to be any sort of adoption that would even indicate that it could possibly be like a something that could potentially overturn like overtake like something like Twitter. It's just it takes so much. It'll likely be a new Web 2 entity that enters with something that is that differentiates itself beyond any other experience and incorporates social like a social experience that has some sort of like AR or like VR elements incorporated into it. Once VR that requires VR being adopted too. So it's just like, yeah, what does that look like? I mean, you see TikTok come in, and TikTok has been extremely popular, but it's not like the it is not it is a staple for us, but it doesn't mean that people are not using Twitter. Twitter is still the place where everything is disseminated and distributed, and people spend most of their time distributing ideas. Like ideas do like I have two little sisters. They learn a lot through TikTok and stuff. I will say that. So it's more of a visual medium, and it's more of and it is memey in its own way. It's just that Twitter just feels like it's where all of the other social media like outlets are being distributed through there. Like it's just like the most consistent, and every generation is here. Every generation.
I feel like Twitter is almost like an aggregator, right? Because you see the YouTube links there, you see the TikTok
Yeah.
videos in there, so everything's always get posted in there because it's embedded and you can see it anyway. But yeah, I see what you're saying with the TikTok thing. Like, I feel like some people graduated from like YouTube State College and went to TikTok University because that's where now they're getting all their knowledge and learning all these random facts and stuff. But yeah, I see what you're saying. At the end of the day, I feel like people are still, they end up their time on Twitter. I feel like it's just you want to be the most up to date and get things news sources at as fast as possible. I think definitely Twitter's the go to.